Darren Dickerson, BLACKTREE TV, Creed 3. Let's go. Today we always talk about finding that balance. So what is it for you? Like, how do you portray a woman trying to find balance when you are a woman trying to find balance?
Well, I have a 4-year-old at home, and there is no balance. I just think it's in this show. It's really about hopefully you hope your husband helps out. You want to bring Jeffrey back into the house because you need his help as well. You're hoping for some grace, and also her kids are older, so you hope that they can pour back into you. And I think that's exactly what you'll see this season.
Exciting. Okay, and so now, Ali, I want to talk to you about how your character is so different, right, from the Carlton character that we know. Did that excite you or did it scare you?
A little bit of both. I think I remember in my audition they had said this is not the sitcom. Don't try and do the sitcom. And so that made me really excited because I was like, great, I get to do my own thing with this role. But also, at the same time, I recognize that people love what they know. Right. And so seeing something that they don't know and seeing something that feels unfamiliar is weird. But I think fans have really, really gravitated to the new elements of Carlton that I've shown. So I'm thankful.
There was a really great arc. And so my question for you would be the relationship between you and Will. What do we see this year? Do you guys get closer or are y'all still beefing a little bit?
See, this season starts off with Carlton and Will on better terms. Now the question is, do they stay on good terms throughout the season? We shall see. But they do have to navigate school, social elements, and we see the effect that has on their friendship, for better or worse.
Do you find a new love interest?
I do. Carlton does have a new love interest this season, and again, we gonna see where that goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does Mom like the new love interest?
Not that kind of drama.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us with BLACKTREE TV.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So I'm here with this lady needs no introduction. Brandon. P Valley.
Yes.
So, the first question I have: how did you feel when Nico won the Image Award?
Did I not show how I felt all over that TV, child? I was jumping up. I went to jump sit. I was like, get up there and go get it. So overwhelmed, so excited for my castmate. He worked so hard for this role. And he's been working for this role for so long, well before we got on TV. It was a play first.
So speak to what it means that he won Best Actor.
Because, give me this mic. The Best Actor means Best Actor, period. Not being just straight, because Nico is an openly gay man, and to have this opportunity where they saw past whatever their choices were in their life, to see his talent is overwhelming to me. And I don't believe, if I'm not mistaken, is he the first? I'm just saying, go Nico. I'm so proud of him.
Now, P Valley, talk to me about why do you think the show resonates so much with fans? I mean, it has a real hardcore following, and it's not just the typical people you would think. I think people from every walk of life watch this show.
Yes, and you know what? That's what's been so beautiful about it. Katori Hall, our showrunner and creator of the show, wanted people to see the love and to the human aspect of these characters. And a lot of times, people judge a book by its cover. So once you get into the paint with us and you're able to see it, you're able to see, yo, they might just be just like me. I might not identify as this, but I know someone who does. And so it's opening doors, it's making more conversations come to life, and it's wonderful.
You know, in Europe, they have a very different opinion of working women, right? And women who work even in the dance industry, performance industry. Do you think we'll ever really just drop that stigma and just embrace these women for the choices they're making and providing for themselves, their families?
Well, I think characters like Mercedes, who I get the blessing to play, are allowing people to see a different side. So I think that's wonderful. And then the more you allow creatives to be creative and put that story out there, the more networks that take a chance on people like Stars did for us. then we'll be able to show that, because it's life. We're not showing anything that's not normal. We're showing what's reality. So now open y'all's hearts up too.
Okay, so now last question. 50 years of hip hop.
Yeah.
This is the 50th anniversary of
50th
hip hop.
anniversary.
Now you look like somebody who put that music on when you're trying to get in a
did.
certain mood. What was your go-to? What's your go-to?
You know what? I'm gonna go all the way back to my mind's playing tricks on me. Dun, 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 dun. I know you
Not
remember
the
that.
Ghetto Boys, yes.
I'm
What
from
you talking
Memphis,
about?
Tennessee. Yes, the Ghetto Boys.
So you know about a little bit about MJG and 8 Ball then.
Absolutely know about MJG.
What about some screw music?
Listen, 3 6 Mafia was my first tour with Gangsta Boo. She gave me my first opportunity as a professional dancer.
Shout out Gangsta Boo.
Yes, Gangsta Boo.
50 years of hip hop. Thank
Yes,
you so much.
you're so welcome. Thank you. You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
50 years of hip hop, right? When you now we know you're an R&B singer, you're a love singer, but I know you like rap. So when you in the mood, when you're trying to get hyped, when you're trying to get, what's your go-to?
Hey,
Now for me, it's Tupac. Me Against the World.
yeah, see,
you know what
that's
I'm saying?
See, that is like violence. You trying to be? I don't want no violence, brother. Just, come on now, you going all out war. You going straight to
No, Me
Tupac.
Against the World was his introspective album. It was the one before he went to jail. He was kind of, he had the glasses. He was be a little more, the heaven for a gangster, stuff like that.
Fresh medallions, no go.
Yeah.
I don't know anything from that Drake Future album.
Okay.
Anything from that.
Okay.
Get me
You're
excited.
just musical all the
Yeah,
way.
yeah. I mean, what else? Let me think. 50 Cent Massacre.
Talking about I'm violent.
No. I'm an athlete at heart.
Yes, sir.
And anything LL Cool J, man.
There it is. There. 50 years
Don't
of hip
call
hop.
it a comeback.
Been here for years. Thank you, brother. So now we are here with one of the newest. Are you the newest cast member of P Valley? How is that first season? I mean, now, mind you, I know a little about the Pink, right? I know a little about inside. What is that first day, that first week like being with that cast?
I'm not gonna lie, I had 3 first days. You want me to explain?
Yes.
First day I go to set, they did not get to my scene. Okay, go home. Next first day I was supposed to go to set. So we do with COVID, we do like tracing, contact tracing. I had been around someone on set that had caught COVID, even though my test was negative. So second day didn't happen. So it was until my first day, and then we had to move so much stuff around that my first day was a dance day, a big dance day.
Wow.
So when I say 3 first days and the third one was like the biggest, scariest one, I cried.
You really literally in tears. I mean, I can't imagine the pressure of thinking you were going to be coming in just for a regular scene and kind of easing into the role. And so now, what is that night before when you know? Because I'm pretty sure they didn't call you early. They told you kind of like.
I knew, but the thing is, I thought, okay, trained, so I felt good about dancing, but so I was like, oh, it's real. Like this is.
So let me ask you: had you ever been like a stage performer before, or were you always acting? Did you do like?
My foundation is theater, but I never danced like pole dance in front of a room full of people. Like it was a real club. We had like a club full of extras on my first day, and I can't even sweat, so I don't slip off the pole.
So now, I guess, had you ever done like swimsuit Molly? Had you ever been that
Never.
nude in front of a room full of people?
Never.
So what is that
The
like?
closest is I ran track.
Okay, I don't know how close that is, but all right.
You know, you got the short shorts.
So okay. So now, what do you take yourself? Like, how do you block that room out?
I'm not going to lie. Brandy Evans, who plays Mercedes, helped me because everybody kept saying like, just I guess they could feel my energy of the nervousness because I was always like super high energetic on set. Not high like weed, but high or drugs or anything, but high like energetic alike.
Okay.
And when it came to that, I was kind of just silent. And I was like, okay, I said, let me stretch, let me get a massage. I was trying to calm down, and everybody kept coming to me. So I could feel myself, I've never had a panic attack, anxiety. I could feel myself getting anxious and nervous and I was tearing up. And I was like,
able to use it?
She calmed me. I was able to use it and turn that into like an adrenaline rush and just put it into the dancing. but I was very nervous.
Okay, now the scene is over. 'Cause I know this set, and I know everyone had to know this was your first time doing this. What do they do when the scene is over?
When the scene is over, and you know the set.
Was it just a regular reaction, or were they excited
Nah,
for
they
you?
were excited. They were cheering. They were like, they knew I had overcame. That was major for me. I overcame an obstacle that you didn't know. And I'm pretty sure people would think she would never be nervous. I've been on plenty of sets. I've done plenty of things. But to dance in front of a room full of people and act, I was nervous. After I did it the first take, though, I was like, okay, I
Wait,
didn't
how many
die.
takes did you have to do?
They gotta get close
I didn't
up.
even
They gotta
think
get in
about
the
that.
middle. They gotta get other people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, now I gotta go back and watch that scene again with a whole new appreciation.
Go back and watch it.
Thank you so
I was
much for
definitely
talking.
nervous. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We are here with NBA legend, icon, Stormin' Norman Nixon. And I guess my first question for you would be, you know, when we look at a movie like Creed, right? Obviously, being a professional athlete, you know what it takes to kind of get your body in condition, right?
Yeah.
What do you think a Michael B. Jordan or Jonathan Majors actually had to go through just to prepare for something like this?
Oh, they put in work. They put in work to get cut up like that. And to get up like that requires a lot of cardiovascular and a lot of hard work in the gym over a long period of time. So those guys been training for a while to look like that.
And so, you know, we always look at sports movies and people always think about authenticity. I think one of the things that Rocky has always shown is authenticity in sports. You know, I mean, obviously you're not a boxer, but I'm sure you've been to some professional fights. When you see this movie, do you feel like, or have you seen these movies in the past from Rocky to forward, does it give you that real feel like you're right there?
Now, come on, now. You grew up in the era with Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Thomas Hearn, Marvin Hagler, Tyson. So it's hard to replicate that on the screen or replicate it anywhere, because these guys are just the best in the world to ever do it. But these guys do a good job of reenacting. It's a lot in how it's shot, so they can make you think you're in one of those big fights. But when you've been on the ringside with those epic fights that I just mentioned, man, it's hard to replicate that.
What's the biggest fight you ever saw?
Man, I've seen a lot of them. Well, I tell you what, one of the biggest ones was, I would say, Sugar Ray and Thomas. I mean,
Oh, you were at Thomas, Sugar Ray Hearn.
oh, yeah, Sugar
Epic.
Ray. That was epic, but also Marvin Hagler and Thomas Hearn.
You were at that fight too?
Mike Tyson and Holyfield.
Okay. All right.
So
Now
you know the list.
you're just making me jealous.
Aaron Pryor and Alexis Arguello.
Wow.
So I go back to those
Wow.
days. So we've been going to fights a long time.
So now I got to ask you a basketball question, right? There's been a bunch of moves in the West, right? The Lakers look like, I mean, they come off a 27-point, comeback victory, but also you got Kevin Durant and Phoenix. Do you think either of those teams could actually move up and challenge to become lead the West for the NBA Finals?
I don't know if either one of those teams going to lead the West going into the playoffs. I do think the Lakers now, with the moves they've made, will get into the playoffs. I think if Durant can get healthy, Phoenix can actually, compete for the Western Conference Finals. But there are always so many ifs. If this guy stays healthy, if this guy does. Right now, LeBron's hurt again. So you just never can tell. The team that walks in healthy of these top 5 or 6 teams will be the team that I think will make the most noise.
Do you think that Kyrie Irving and Luka can work?
Well, they'll be able to play because they don't have a team with 5 or 6 other scorers. They need to have 2 guys that can really, put the ball in the basket. So I think these guys will be able to play well together. But will the team go a long ways in the playoffs? I'm not
What
sure.
about the defensively? I think they'll struggle there.
Well, they're going to struggle defensively. Plus, offense, they're not going to be able to do it.
Thank you, brother. The lovely, gorgeous Wine Destiny. I have a question that's not necessarily actor related. When are we gonna hear you sing again?
Oh man, I just released a new single 2 weeks ago, and I'm gearing up to release my EP this fall. So, I'm really
Do you have a name for the EP?
sort of. It's pending.
Okay,
It's pending.
and so what can fans expect on this EP?
Oh man, it'll always have the bass and life of R&B, but it'll be a little mix of other things in there as well. So I'm excited.
So now you're from Detroit.
Yes.
How do you feel about BMF?
I think it's a great show. Yeah, it's a really great show, and it's really cool to see the people of Detroit also, associated in that as well. So it's really cool to see, and to see the city. It's awesome.
Thank you so much. And you're trying to get inside. It's always a pleasure seeing you.
Nice to see you.
All right. Are you in the film?
Yes, I'm Jonathan Major's trainer.
Oh, still in. What's your name, sir? Talk to me.
Yaya McClain.
Yaya McClain. So are you the trainer in the film, or are you the trainer
in the film?
Okay, and so now tell me a little bit about your background in terms of boxing. Did you have any boxing experience at all?
About 45 years.
Oh, so you were a professional fighter?
I'm a two-time world champion. Started boxing when I was 10. I'm 55 now. That's 45 years.
Okay, so what weight class were you?
Cruiserweight.
Cruiserweight. Okay. So now tell me this: when we see a film like this, right? What does it take for an actor to actually embody a boxer?
So, what I can tell you, I'm an actor as well. Like, I've been acting since like 90-something. And whenever an actor takes on, like, I can only speak from my experience, but I can imagine, like, with the roles that these two have in these major leads, they have had to, like, shut out everything else and just jump all the way into that for, months and months.
So, and do you think it's just a matter of just training? 'Cause, I mean, when you look at boxing, there's so many little nuances that the people who are in the fight world will know. Like, you can't really cheat it. But the one thing that's been consistent about Rocky is that the people in the fight world have always respected the way it looked, right? How hard is it to teach those little, slipping punches and, there's little things that the average moviegoer won't see, but this person had to learn to actually embody this role. How difficult is it to get the nuance of it?
That's one of the great things about this project, is that all the people in this movie are the authentic people. Like, every trainer was a real trainer, every ring announcer, cut man, everybody was the authentic people. So it made it a lot easier because everyone was working together.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, man. All right. Take care.
We are here with the lovely Sky Jackson. So I have an important question for you. So you've made the transition from being a child star, obviously being a child actor, to being a young adult actor. How difficult is it for people to not see you as the young person anymore and see you as this amazing adult that you are now?
It could be hard at times because people still have their perception, but it's just they have to realize that I'm growing up, I'm getting older, I'm doing more adult films now, so I feel like they'll get there. It's been hard, but they're getting there.
Do you think your Disney fans are ready to see you in a really adult role?
Yeah, I just filmed a movie that's coming out with Paramount, and it's very different from anything that I've done, very adult, so they're gonna love that.
The name of the film?
It's called Shira.
Okay, and when is it coming out?
It's coming out this year.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see that. Thank you so much for talking.
Thank you, no problem.
Actors who have grown up from being child actors to adults, right? How difficult is it for your fans to see you in a more mature role?
I think it's difficult for them. I've been acting since I was 3, but I think people most know me from, or my introduction to the world was A Wrinkle in Time. I was 13, so to now be an almost 20-year-old, you do see the comments of like, oh no, our baby's growing up too fast, but like, babe, it's been a lot of years, people grow up, people mature, and I think it's just all about having grace with the things you choose to be a part of, being intentional, being purposeful, and as long as the things that you are a part of aligns with your morals, your values, then whatever people are saying doesn't really matter.
So now that you are a young adult, what type of film, like if you had what role are you looking for? Are you looking to be like a superhero, or you want to do something more on
You hit it right on the head. I think I've done some amazing things, but I'm ready for an action film.
Action film,
I
okay.
think it'll be really fun to dig in, to train, to, have some fun, kick some butt.
Kick some butt.
Yeah.
I can see you as a really dope superhero. So if you had a superpower, what would you want to have?
Either to be able to fly or super strength.
Super strength.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You just like pop out the super strength real quick.
And the flying was probably just to get around LA a little quicker, right?
Exactly, because the traffic is awful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are here with the legend, the icon, Dolph Lundgren. So tell me, when you first did Rocky, could you imagine the series running this long?
No, I had no idea. I was trying to survive the next round with Stallone or Apollo Creed.
And so you know what these actors had to go through to prepare for these parts, right? What does it take to really to look like a credible boxer?
Well, you know, that's the good thing about the Rocky series or the Creed series is that it's one of the few movies where the actors don't have any doubles. They're in there doing all their fighting. It's not like a superhero movie where you got a guy in a special muscle suit. This is you, your own muscles, and your own, you know, fighting in the ring. So I think that's why it's very special. And I'm impressed to see what Michael has done with this movie. And you know, I know how much work it is. So I'm humbled by his achievement, really.
Do we see you come back in again in the future?
There is actually a film they're planning about the Dragos at MGM. Yeah.
Nice.
The next one.
Oh, that would be great.
Dragos,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. We got a little inside information. Thank you so much. Super Bowl. You know how difficult it was for Rihanna to be up there and perform. What do you think it would take for a woman? I mean, you're pregnant, so could they get you to come out and do a Super Bowl halftime show?
Yeah, tell them to sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm ready right now.
Right now.
I'm ready right now.
Do you think she deserved more praise or more criticism?
Oh, absolutely more praise. Nobody, especially
Come on now, say it how you want to say it.
especially men, can't understand what our bodies go through to create a whole human being. And for her to get up on those platforms, be in the sky, and actually perform, she gets more praise than criticism, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's your boy Darren Dickinson. We on the red carpet for Creed. We just out here getting a couple of interviews for BLACKTREE TV. So far, we've already talked to Norm Nixon. We talked to no, it's fine. It's fine. The franchise that has been running this long, could you ever imagine that Rocky would now be directed by and led by an African American?
Who was thinking like that? Who was thinking that way?
What do you think Carl Weathers would think of this moment? That a black man who's playing his son is now directing the film?
I think he would be very happy. Michael must be coming.
Thank you so much. So we're here with Terrence Crawford. Now, could you step a little bit to right here? We're here with Terrence Crawford. Now, this man's a professional fighter, world champion. You were training Michael B. Jordan, right?
I was working with him.
So now, did you ever get in the ring and spar with him?
Yeah, we did a little working together.
So let me ask you this. Was that, I mean, because obviously, you know, we all play fault as kids, and that's always that time when your cousin, your friend hit you a little too hard, right, and you pop them back. Did Mike ever catch you?
No, I never was nothing like that. You know,
No, y'all didn't never really mix it up that much?
No, nothing like that. It was just, you know, we working. I'm helping them with certain things, and, you know.
So you know, I was asking Norm Nixon, obviously, you know, he's a professional athlete, you're a professional athlete, and there are certain little nuances, right? That if you're going to watch something, right, you want the fighters and people in that world to respect it and see it's credible. What is something that you taught him, maybe something that when people saw the fight, it would add a little more credibility to him as a boxer?
I don't know. I think like certain movements.
Just how to move around the ring,
like make certain movements that a boxer will make.
Right.
You know, in films, a lot of things is more choreographed. You know, so you know certain movements that an actual boxer will make that you know somebody that box be like, oh man, that's a boxing move. You know, something like that.
So now, as a fighter, right? If Mike B, because you know he's a bit of an athlete, right?
Right.
If he had started younger, do you think he has what it takes? Could he put it together and come into another sport?
I don't know. It's hard to say, but Michael, he's talented in many ways. So I would never want to degrade him from being anything other than great. So I don't know. Boxing is a tough sport.
It very is.
You can be talented, but can you take a punch?
to that end, I got to ask you a boxing question. Jake Paul lost the fight.
Right.
Do you think he could ever? Do you think he will get it together to a point where he could actually be a world class fighter, or do you think maybe is it going to be something he's doing that's great for the sport in terms of opening it up to other people?
Well, like I said, I never want to tell a fighter that he can't be, you know what I mean, world champion or be great, because, you know, there's a lot of fighters that being told that they never was going to be something then proved everybody wrong. So you never know. Jake Paul been doing tremendous things in the sport of boxing, and, you know, I wish him well. You know, I think he was going to bounce back real well, you know, and, you know, you got to understand this guy only got a couple of fights under his belt.
What do you think it says that he's been able to create a gate and draw substantial revenue for as a boxer and then for other fighters?
Well, yeah, he's already had a following, you know, from the YouTube, so his following carried on through the boxing, you know, and that helped him out, you know, in a very positive way, you know, for not only him, but his bank account as well.
Right, but we've seen how these guys who have come in from the music world and got into the internet world, Napster changed everything. Obviously, YouTube, I'm here filming for an internet channel, has completely changed everything. Do you think that what he's doing could ultimately change boxing and give more power to the fighters in terms of controlling their gate?
It could, you know, only time will tell, because, you know, you got the promoters and the managers and the advisors and, you know, the networks and everybody behind the scenes that really control the sport of boxing. So, you know.
Would you like to see more self-promoted fights?
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard.
That is very true.
If it was easy, it would have been done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Now, I'm going to ask you about being the writer of this film, Zach, but the green is crushing.
Oh, thank you.
No. And the green on green, just so you know, I'm from Inglewood, California. Green is an alternate color in our neighborhood because that was our school colors.
Yeah.
But we made it a color we wore around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So you killed it with that in the shoes. Okay, so what are you wearing? Who are you wearing?
This is a LA brand called Yanni.
Nice, it's an LA brand.
Yeah.
Okay, now do you often wear like up and coming designers, or do you kind of go for
like
what
fashion.
you feel?
I would go for what I feel, but I like this brand a lot, and, you know, I'm always like out there hunting, looking for stuff.
Okay. So talk to me about the I won't say the pressure, but the responsibility of taking over an iconic brand that has so much history and legacy that so many people were connected to before this new iteration, and now you got the old fans, you got these new fans, and then you're coming in. What do you think your responsibility was to the brand?
I felt a huge responsibility. I mean, I grew up with, first of all, like the Rocky films, and then I thought what Ryan and Michael were able to do with the first Creed and the second one was really like take it in a whole other direction that grounded it in a obviously a whole different story, a whole different character, and this, like, I thought what Ryan really was able to do was bring in all of the groundedness and that he did in Fruitville and put it on a big studio movie, which is really hard to do. So I felt a tremendous amount of responsibility, but also like I knew that I was coming into a story in a family that really knew these characters really well and were really determined not to like just mail it in. So
you know, for me, in the Creed series has always resonated in that, you know, a lot of African American males grow up without their fathers, right? We always talk about the history of how African American history only goes back so far. Talk to me about how do you think people are connecting with the story of a passed away father living in his shadow and then coming out of that shadow to be your own man? Excuse me. And I'll do the telling you again. Coming out of that shadow to kind of be your own man.
Well, I mean, I think that Adonis' story has always been about coming out of his shadow and finding himself and trying to identify who he wanted to be in the world. And I think that what we tried to do with Dame was create a character who didn't have that, who didn't have the support system, who didn't have some of the things that Adonis, you know, some of the rungs on the ladder that Adonis was able to pull himself up with.
Right.
And so, you know, I think it's a universal story in that way, that I think a lot of people can look at their experiences and try to have empathy about what it feels like to be in someone else's shoes and to give back a little bit. And I think that was really important for Michael. I think that's where he was coming from in the beginning.
What do you think? What do you think men, fathers, will take away from this film?
I mean, I'm a father. I have a daughter, and I think what I tried to, what I identified with it was that idea of, Adonis goes through this thing where his instinct is to fight. That everything that's the solution to every problem. And I think a lot of people, I feel that way sometimes. And then you look at a little kid, and you know that that's not the lesson that you can teach, and that's not going to be successful. And to try and to be the person that you want them to become is a big burden on yourself, and it's really a hard undertaking. And I think it's, I would hope people would take away just the feeling of, everyone's trying to do better, and that's what you're trying to pass on, I think. So
I think that's a certain important message in the time we're in right now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All
Looking
right,
forward to
yeah,
it.
really
All
nice to see you,
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Good, man. Look at you. You looking clean.
Hey, I'm trying to help out. Yeah, I see you. So we with the legend right here, man. Wood Harris, you're an icon. Yeah, no, it is. It's 30 years of hip hop, right? Yeah. And so right now I'm giving everybody flowers, right? And so we're going to talk about the film, but I have a question for you in that you were in an iconic movie, Paid in Full. Iconic films about the culture, right?
Yeah.
So what impact has hip hop had on American culture?
Oh man, hip hop has had an amazing impact, good and bad. I think in the early part, hip hop was very inspiring because you had new artists coming out, and it was unpredictable what would happen with the music form, and it was creating itself. And so pioneers like Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, and all that were coming out, and Tupac and Biggie later on. And but now, I feel like it needs some damage control in a sense, because it's got too much killing in it, point blank. There's too much negativity in a lot of the young people. I still listen to the old school.
You know what was inspiring for me though is that my son is 15 years old, and I did a getaway weekend for him and his kid, from him and a group of his friends, right? Don't get me wrong, they was listening to the new stuff. But at a certain point, they was listening to the 90s hip hop.
There you go. You got to go back to
no,
that.
No, I mean, they was like, this is what we listened to when they had the girls around and was chilling with girls. So they put on the 90s hip hop.
Yeah, because don't no girl want to hear Kill Your Grandma and all that crap.
I come in the room thinking, but and they're listening to, old school stations. So that was really great. And so, but we're here for Creed, right? And my question for you is that, how does it make you feel as an actor and as a creative that so many directors, writers, producers, other actors see you as such a critical part of these films that really speak to Black life and experience?
Man, that's an unpredictable thing. I wouldn't know that would happen, I'm very lucky and very blessed, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell people I'm both lucky and blessed, you know what I'm saying? Because I really get considered for everything, and I get to be myself, I don't really, jump through fiery hoops and none of that type of stuff, I'm able to have a certain amount of integrity as an artist, and it's a blessing, man, truly.
How important is it for other young Black actors and for Black men to see someone like your character, the type of characters you play? Because you always play a certain person with integrity. Even when you're playing a bad guy, he has a little bit of integrity and a little bit of questioning of who he is.
I think it's, young actors who really are, whose goals are really to achieve, if they can see something I do and really get into it, they probably learn from it. You know what I'm saying? You can learn acting from watching some of us, right? So you can watch Paid in Full, and there's so many people who do the skits. You see it, and that's like a little crash course in a sense, So that's why there's so much young talent, and the young talent ain't like me, They have so many ways to get better. You really have to either study, go to school, or somehow, what was you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Yeah, so I think the young talent has the benefit of someone like me, that they can say, I know I can do this because I'm from a regular place too. I'm not my mom and dad wasn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't have no silver spoon. I just made it through work, basically.
And so my last question for you obviously, BMF, big, worldwide, but your brother got a little love scene. I don't know if we've ever seen your brother.
He did a love scene?
We haven't seen it yet,
Oh,
but
okay,
there's
I'm
something
about to
sexy
say.
coming up. So how much drama, beef? I've seen y'all poke each other. When he do his love scene,
I'm about to go off. I can't wait. I'm gonna post that and everything, bro. I can't wait, bro. Oh my God. I can't wait. It's gonna be crazy.
that was worth it all right there. Hey, bro. Good to see you too, man. We're here with Thaddeus. He plays the young Adonis. Let me ask you a question, man. Obviously you're an actor, so it's easy for you. I mean, not easy for you, but you're accustomed to taking on a role. But how does it feel knowing you're going to be playing someone who's been played by a Michael B. Jordan, who's already established the main character as this iconic character? How does it feel for you coming in and play, the younger version?
Yeah, I had a conversation with him. I just asked him, bro, like, how do I bring the essence of a young you to this movie? What can I do that is like you at 15, so I can just bring that to this movie to make it seem like, honestly, I really am you.
Did you go and watch any episodes of The Wire?
Oh, you know what? I actually did. Wallace. I used to watch Wallace all the time. Most of the people in The Wire, I watched a lot of clips on YouTube, and I just used to have to put them together because I don't know exactly what network The Wire is on now, but I used to watch a lot of clips on YouTube about The Wire, and I wish I could have seen the whole entire season.
Because him in that role was probably close to you at your age now, right?
Yeah. I think he was probably around 15. We were talking about that actually. Yeah.
So was it weird watching him at that young age, and then coming in and talking to him about playing a younger version of him?
Not really, but kind of, because Creed is a little different from that, but also with Wallace was kind of like his swag in The Wire is really young Adonis now, which is kind of crazy now that I think about it. That really is young Adonis. It's wild, yeah.
So if you were to tell, like, I want you to, they always ask older actors, what would you tell the younger you, right?
Yeah.
What do you hope the older you is gonna say to the younger you? Where do you see yourself in the future? Where do you think you would like to end up?
That with the success that I have received in my life and the fame or whatever, I just want to make sure that I help out my community, give back, put my brothers and sisters on, and really just stay true to myself. It's true.
That's a great spot to end it, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
So my first question is, you've made the transition from being an actor to director.
Good to see you.
I know, good to see you. Yeah, right? So talk to me about what do you think Mike went through in terms of he's acting in the movie and he's directing. What is that challenge like?
That's a hell of a challenge, to be very honest with you, because the pre-prep, I'm about to direct a film in D.C. Black Mafia Family, Tanisha Wells story, shameless plug, but take it. It's a lot, because the pre-prep, you got to create a lookbook, you got from the weapons, every moment that happens is your decision. I never knew that as an actor, that the director, it's basically his baby. So you carry it and deliver it, literally. So he had to do the pre-prep, shoot it, and then you've got the editing that comes later too, and then the music, so it's a lot. And the fact that he had to box, deal with choreography, have that body slamming.
and then jump on camera and actually deliver the role.
But I love that he said, I saw an interview that he said when he yelled cut, they were like, how did you do all of this? He said he would go. So I wonder how he did it when he had on the gloves.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
How do you yell cut? Yeah, maybe did the Wakanda symbol.
So that amazing legacy this guy's building.
Yes, incredible legacy. Yeah. So now, talk to me about your new line you just launched.
Yes, Foxy Breed, my clothing line. We're doing well. It's an affordable line for women and women of all stages, all sizes. We don't discriminate. The brand goes from a size 2 to a 2X.
And now, are you the designer? How intimately involved with you in terms of the creator, in terms of the actual looks and fabrics? I mean, are you hands-on? Are you trusting your team and you just go with the final and say, I like that final choice?
No, I'm involved. I had a lot to do with the patterns, the colors. I picked purple because purple stands for Black royalty.
Nice.
Yeah, and I wanted to make sure that the material was nice and that you got a good bang for your buck because, we wanted to make a line that was affordable. We didn't want to make something that was outrageously expensive that my everyday working woman couldn't afford.
Now, you already shamelessly plugged your project you're working on. When we see you next in front of the camera?
I've got a film that's going to be coming out on Tubi Mar Vista, Twisted House Sitter 2. It's kind of like Single White Female meets Fatal Attraction meets Devil Wears Prada.
Well, that's something I want to see, especially in that role.
You got it. You got it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
So life is good.
Yeah,
so
looks
check
like
it. That's coming this summer.
Ryan Cooler, BLACKTREE. We're here on BLACKTREE TV.
Yeah.
So, one question. Mike is directing now, right? Will we see you acting?
No. Yeah, I can tell you that right now. No. Yeah. I mean, I will never say never because I'll jinx it, but yeah, not likely. Yeah.
So you don't have any passion to actually be in front of the camera? I mean, I'm pretty sure you've been told you're a handsome brother, charismatic, great energy. I'm pretty sure they probably tried to pull you in that direction.
Never. Yeah, nah.
You just don't have the passion to actually step in front of the camera.
No, sir. No, sir.
Mike couldn't talk you into it?
He's known better than to try. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this: What do you think he excelled at in this role as actor director? That's a hard job.
All of it, man. All of it. Have you seen the film yet?
I haven't seen the film yet.
Oh, okay. So you gotta watch it. All of it, bro. He's knocks it out of the park. Every aspect.
Tell me that one call he gave you where you felt like you gave him that piece of information or direction. Even if it wasn't like about skill thing, but just being there as a brother supporting.
I mean, look, man. It wasn't one call. It was just doing my work as a producer, which is a constant job. It's an unpredictable job, but just being there to support him, man. Being there to help him realize his vision. That was what I was there for. I was in service of his vision. You know what I mean?
How hard was it to not put on another creative hat? How hard was it for you not to want to direct?
Oh, that's easy, bro. I really love producing. It's our third feature film that we're putting out as a company, and I love it, man. I love to be helpful. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't ever want to overstep.
Mike,
what's going on? How you doing, Darren?
How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Definitely. Well, I got both of y'all here together. What is it like for you guys to be created together and understanding that where black people have come from in this business and to now be actually bosses of a franchise?
What does it feel? I mean, the fact that, we hold each other accountable, we push each other, and we inspire each other, He's one of the first person that I saw that looked like me being able to direct the film, telling me that I could do it, and now look at that, years later, damn near 10 years later, I'm directing, a third installment of a franchise that he helped build, helped create. So, it means a lot.
So tell me, now that you have been in director's chair, how will this inform your acting?
I don't know. I haven't acted yet since then. I'm still processing. So we'll take some time. The next time I get in front of the camera, we'll see what happens.
Now, having been a director, right?
I appreciate you, brother.
Always
been seeing you, brother.
One last. Okay, gotcha. Very well. So listen, after Last Man in San Francisco, after Hostel, Last Black Man in San Francisco, Hostel, and the spaces between those films, now that you're getting so much work back to back, how is it managing all those roles?
I believe acting's a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Some people take it a different way, But yeah, my folks grew up very blue collar. My granddaddy was a farmer. You get up every day and go to work, so the jobs will come back to back, and I've been ready.
So you're bringing those black family work traditions to your...
Yeah, of course. We must. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.